a little bit.
Alright, Noctum has been rather unpleasant, so... You know, honestly, both of you should be on the same team for this, quite frankly. I am empowered, and... Alright. Are you ready?
Yeah, anytime.
At least it's not Eleanor breathing through her neck with that ridiculous great spell. I do fully encourage you both to recover yourselves by whatever means necessary. It's good practice. Good way to stop.
Like a tickle.
Yes, I do specialize in not dying in situations. If I got hurt, fearful would happen to the rest of my cluster without me. Sort of make it a point to be difficult to take down. Hello, Hester. I figured I'd stop by and... I really wanted to do a spar, but wasn't Noctum actually trying to literally kill me for real? So this is nice.
Still,
Thank goodness I can play nice on neutral ground, Korazkhan. glad to see you here.
Likewise.
Excellent. Fable, your dog. Fable's not a dog. He's a person. Yes, they're doing excellent. As I was saying, I sort of make a point not to go down easily. Ah, excellent. Well done, both of you.
That is definitely a fight of attrition.
I really shouldn't indulge, but... Alright, I have, a terrible idea. But if you all want, every single one of you on this team, and see if you can... invest my blood magic. Alright, alright. Are you ready? Oh, you're going to need to change the rules to increase the maximum team size. Any of you who have hard access.
Where's a large one? Chieftain. Whatever. Yep, that was about as expected. Well done, all of you. Well, it's nice to spar when it's not Noctum, who actually want to hurt me. Thank you for that. Yes, well done. As well, I make it a point not to go down easily, but even that, well, there's only so much I can do.
You all
Absolutely.
did wonderfully. Now I would... Oh yes, you did wonderfully. Now I would like something to drink, and Korazkhan, I believe we need to talk. So do you have somewhere private on the grounds we can have a chat? Well, Scholar or Dracula, and with whatever amount of alcohol you have mixed into it would be wonderful. Whiskey, wine. That would be just delightful. I haven't actually gotten to take a close look at the menu, so what's the house special, as it were?
Absolutely.
Ah, thank you.
So it shall be. Invigorating.
Might I ask what exact sort of creature the blood's from? I'm curious. Oh, but how have you been, Hestia? I haven't seen you in a number of cycles, I dare say. Ah, a nun. I do love the taste of nuns. We had a nun in our bar, but now now it's an acolyte, which...
As you wish.
Ah, I see. Yes, I've seen a lot of blood this cycle, Hestia. I didn't see you at the skirmish earlier. It's probably for the best. It was well, a little ways northeast of here, and then again at the silver mines. As it has before, Dunley runs red with the blood of ours and Noctum. No, it's not a place for bystanders. It's a place for soldiers. It's dangerous to walk into battle. You might not walk out, immortal or not. I'm afraid the lack of war is not going to be an option. But, at least for us, we have no intention of overly involving those who it does not pertain to. I just worry that if we lose, then, well, there's not going to be anyone stopping Noctum from pushing westward, but I shouldn't muse on such things. That is a great deal of mushrooms, Passathea.
Well done, well done.
Passathea, how many trippy shrooms did you bring? Oh dear. Well, regardless, I won't sully the mood with talk of war. Thoughts of Noctum, though I dare say it's been on my mind a lot today. I spent a great deal of time earlier helping build up that homeless shelter, and I dare say it's the first time since we finished building the rot home that I've truly had the opportunity to do that sort of manual labor. It was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I dare say myself and my cluster all together, and it was an absolute joy. Truly, it was wonderful.
Yeah, I think the people need to see the cult out doing things with the public.
That's what I've been doing. I've been helping people on the road. Korazkhan, I treated Korazkhan on the road after he was injured.
Yes. My first interaction.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I'm glad to see you're helpful. Proud of me, or proud of someone else? Ah, yes. I'm hosting a medical class, once the storm returns. I do encourage all of you to stop by. Hestia, though I know you are yourself already a capable mender, I think you'll appreciate what I have to say, to see my perspective on things. I always enjoy the discussion of professional differences with regards to treatment means and methods. I have a hesitancy for magical cures. I tend to rely on the more grounded ones. For the precise reason that attempting to use blood magic or light magic as something of a cure-all risks, well, a lack of finesse, and additionally, many bodies, mortal bodies especially, react very poorly to it.
Of course.
And risking it without alternative methods is dangerous. I'm of the firm belief that to be a proper mentor, you need to be able to work without magic before you start to implement it. No, and some wounds won't respond well to magic. It was Jamie, wasn't it? You're talking about Jamie.
As you wish.
The moment holy magic gets in the mix, I know it's him. He's the holy man, as it were. Now, I won't comment on your particular relationship with Gideon this way or that. Though, Well, if it seems the treatment was unnecessary, then the treatment was unnecessary. Oh, wonderful. Ultimately, I think it's important to remain focused on the goal is the patient, rather than the doctor in question that treated them. So long as they are safe and alive, ultimately how it got to that point is secondary, at least in my eyes. It is in part it's why I'm offering a certification of sort. The apprentice certification indicates that you've successfully completed a certain set of trainings, and the physician's certification indicates that you've completed all of the trainings that I have to offer. As there's another few sets. There's the training course, of course, that I posted on the waygates. And I'll be hosting more classes before too long.
May I inquire in the techniques?
The ones that I'm speaking on?
Yes, to aid someone, to stabilize a condition.
Very well. There's a very great many, and often they are responsive to the wound in question. What I would do is have your familiar go grab a copy from the waygates, and you can look it over. Though I'm unsure who this Dr. Garnet is that you speak of, Hestia. Of course, there's Dr. Blackbrew of the Transcendum, who I don't think he is a doctor, truth be told. It's more of a ceremonial title. He has no inkling of medical practice.
such a doctor. The name reflects very poorly the idea of one that can heal. His version is changing
Mutations, yes, like on
grossly.
Oh, that poor girl. I do what I can for her, but sometimes what she went through, it lingers.
How far? How much have you traveled, Corina?
Hmm. In a worldly sense.
Yes, physically.
Not particularly much. I grew up in Frankelberg, now called Lumera, but Frankelberg. And now I have come here to Vardaran. Somewhere along the way I ran into Lady Thanavi and Dorian and Barbados, and for a long while there it was just us. Just us against the world, and well, eventually we found our way to the oasis where we lived for a very long while. I miss that place sometimes. It always feels like home. It was a good way to get out of the sun and away from the guards in an era when castle magics weren't a thing, and reconstitution meant death.
I take it you've never been north?
North of Arderin? No, not particularly.
Yeah.
Risky doesn't cut it, Hestia. No, I said I wasn't going to sully the mood. I'm not going to. But the Oasis it's a pleasant place for me, for all of us. We spent a great deal of time there. It's a home. Home away from home of sorts. It was our home for a long time. Ah, Dorian. How are
Hello
you?
there. I am doing quite well. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm trying to avoid unpleasant topics like the war, but I was getting on the subject of how we used to live in the Oasis for a long time, honestly. It was so nice there, and even though it was kind of cramped, I still miss it. I miss that shelf that was never really clean, and that we were never able to like get it organized, but it still did everything we needed to do. Like, you know the one. Like,
I know the one.
I know, and Barbados kept getting upset about it. He was like, "That this is my shelf." It's like, well, we needed it for this. It's just good times.
I was actually just spending some time there myself. You might have sensed that, Karina. But
I know. I know how you get when you go and visit that place. How was it?
just nice to... It was nice. I actually ran into the spirit there.
Did you? I still want to meet the spirit. Were they nice?
Well, they... I would say they... Also, how did you meet the spirit, Karina? They
Well, oh, okay.
really get
Alright,
shy when it's...
Look, I just haven't met it like a lot, okay? Not like you have.
Alright. But yes, do a little bow and it bows back, and
Oh, I
sometimes I
know.
do a little spin and it spins back.
Well, okay, I did. Okay, I just not like a lot, not a lot, but a little bit, but not a lot. Oh dear. Well, that's unpleasant.
definitely unpleasant. But yes, they are very nice. I like the spirit a lot. I had a nice time meeting with them. It was good. I learned the spirit's favorite flowers, which was good. I was just giving it whatever flowers I happened to have in my pockets. Now I can give it specific flowers.
Whose arrows? I'm sorry. Wait, but you're Lucian. I don't understand.
They'll have multiple names, Karina.
I mean, okay, I guess. Lucian, Eros, Eros, Lucian. Sure. Oh. I see. Okay. So, I've kept Korazkhan waiting a while. I know you wanted to talk with me. Would you also like Dorian to be there? We can go for a walk.
Are we talking about things?
I don't know. Korazkhan wanted to talk with me, and I said, well, I want to go to the Red Rebel Inn and socialize. I'll see you there. So now we're here. Do you have a room somewhere we could chat, or we could just go for a walk or something like that? Excellent. Thank you, Babel.
I don't know if you were wanting to speak with me, Karina, or not.
Well, that's why I asked if you'd like Dorian to be there.
I can go, I can stay, up to you.
I would like it. I would like to have you as well.
Alright.
Alright, I'll join.
Well, what's on your mind?
Well, I wanted to apologize first and foremost for any difficulties or annoyance I may have caused. I have an understanding that nosiness isn't always looked upon kindly during times of stress and importance, so I wish to apologize greatly. You people have only ever shown me kindness, aid, so I feel quite bad for not giving you space when you needed it.
I appreciated Korazkhan. I know you were not present, Dorian, as I know you had things to tend to around the rot home. For reference, Korazkhan was in the silver mine during our operation and sort of in the midst of the battle earlier this cycle. Korazkhan, I'll be a little bit blunt here.
Please.
I'm not even going to touch on the fact that you're human. You walked into the middle of an active war zone and sort of put everyone there in a difficult position. It's less that your presence made things overly difficult for us, but more that the action itself is unashamedly reckless. It's a war, it's ugly, it's brutal, and you, just like anyone else, can easily become a casualty, especially without the aid of sigil magics. Now, I care for you, I don't want to see you hurt, and I did what I could to ensure that would happen. But war is not a place for bystanders, certainly not bystanders in the midst of the fray, certainly not with Noctum bearing down on it. It's not anything that any of us have against you. I was happy to see you, of course. But what you did was frankly reckless. It could have gotten you killed, it could have gotten any of us killed, but that's what we signed up for. I don't want you, as someone who isn't involved directly, at least not at the moment, to get killed because of it.
I understand. And I'm well aware that my actions were foolish.
No, I'm glad that you escaped unscathed. Truly, I am.
I will, like to ask if there's any way I could at least make some amend. I feel as if I have ruined that sort of trust. Um, Due to my recklessness. I will add that I never meant or had ill intention. I guess, um, I had my judgment skewed, and I thought myself too grand to affect anything negatively. Never my thinking of it.
I understand. Now, I wouldn't say that your relationship with us is damaged, though if you do want to help, it's a simple enough matter. We went there to gather silver. Unfortunately, we were not able to get anywhere near as much as we wanted to because of Noctum's interference. With that in mind, we still do need the silver, so if you are capable of gathering some for us, it would be very much appreciated for use in our weaponry.
Of course.
Think of it less as making up for a wrong and more contributing for the cause. Again, I'm not upset at you.
A show of goodwill, not necessarily something required.
Yes.
I understand. And I know personally that there is no ill feelings. I understand that my actions and the way I behaved were incorrect, especially given the situation, the timing. I myself come from a place, a group of people dedicated to a cause, and I should have known better. I let my selfish desires affect my actions, which were my error.
It can happen to the best of us.
War.
And it means a lot that you are willing to, well, come forward and speak with us on the matter.
Yes, it does. War is messy, it's ugly, it's brutal, and people die. People get attacked and poisoned at ceasefire talks. That's been the reality for us for the better part of a century, Korazkhan. We're used to it, to the messiness of it all, but I don't think you are.
No, I am not. I think that might play a part. I come from a place where we only cared for ourselves and anyone else's problems, despite how close they are, were never ours. And so conflict and death always was alien, I guess. And now that I finally have left that place, I am seeing it all for the first time. and I find myself unsure how to respond. I even fainted at the mines in a corner from all the conflict. I couldn't handle it,
Yes.
and I thought of myself far more capable. Foolish notion.
War is ugly, Korazkhan. The clean room of your mind when you think of the battlefield does not compare to the messy reality when you're actually on it, to the blood and the screams and the smell of gunpowder and the din in your ears and the ash on the air and seeing your friends hurt. And yes,
No, alright.
war is a difficult thing, Korazkhan. It's not something you can ever truly speak on. It's an experience, at least to me. Now, here's what I can say. The fence is the worst place to be in a place like that. If you wish, even if temporarily, to assist us in an effort like that, we are able to temporarily brand you with the Mark of Axiom so that our soldiers do not attack you, and so that you will not be a straggler in the midst of conflict. You will be on a side. That is an option.
If you find yourself on a battlefield between us and Noctum, it is best to steer clear unless you wish to, well, join our ranks. We don't wish to have innocent people caught up in this. As much as we would like the help, it would, well, we don't want it to be at the cost of innocence.
I will say one thing. I am, though my actions might speak otherwise, I know it's foolish to think that being on the fence means that the war never comes to you. War spreads and eats at everyone around it. And it's foolish to think if you play no part, you will never suffer from it. My people stood by and watched as kingdoms and villages fall to war, to conflict, even ones that would be trade with us and help us were ignored because they weren't our people, nor did they matter to our cause. And traveling here, I don't think that's how, at least, we should act, especially at the loss of life, how fragile it is. I do wish to make you all know, at least myself, transparent to you, that I am nervous to help, in the sense of I know actions speak quite loud, and any ties I make ripple through those people I interact with and around me. I know so little compared to what you all know, and there's so much history it will be impossible for me to fully comprehend. I do not know your ways well, for I've never sought them. And if I wish to help, I wonder if I'm being ignorant to Noctum, as if I were any different. Though I will admit my experiences with both parties have been different, and I have been more pleasantly treated by you and your people. Noctum has been a more militaristic group, and being human, it's always been uncomfortable surrounded by vampires in it that have a certain instinct and duty that did not fare well in the past. They seemed entitled. Not that everyone I've met from you are pleasant or easy to speak with. Your cause, your story is one I can understand, as I am, in some manner, from a cult, a group of people who dedicated themselves to a school of magic, but were so focused that the rest of the world became nothing. Thus was pretty isolated. But that sort of interest in knowing something I can relate to. And a cult has a familial sort of bond that doesn't quite match the same in a militaristic, more duty and honor bound. I've never been a fan of soldiers because they always answered to something, someone, and very rarely got to ask themselves the questions as to why. While I was in a cult, there's a similar feel, but at least the why was everything. The why and the what, rather than the how and the do. I wish to help more. I just want to know if I'm doing the right thing.
I fully understand the desire to, well, know what it is you are getting into before you fully dedicate yourself to one cause or the other. It shows great, well, intelligence on your part that you're not simply signing up with the first people who treat you kindly. If there is any specific questions you have, I can do my best to answer. There are some aspects of the faith that we do keep close to our chests, but we understand how things have looked to those outside of the faith for some time. Those less familiar how a religious order such as our own might operate. We're trying to be a bit more open, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Anything I can do to assuage your worries, I'm happy to speak on them.
I have never seen your actions as worrying as I've noticed the others have feeling. Because, well, I come from probably a worse group of people where everything was a secret. Well, the whole reason I'm here was to attempt to finally accept that we do not know everything, or can find out everything. I am here on behalf of my people to try and grow. So, seeing you already willing to be transparent, willing to acknowledge that people worry for what they do not know. I'm impressed. For my clan doesn't quite feel the same. And if anything, I'm not sure if they ever will. I do not plan on going back to them due to traditions being somewhat proven a little errored when you apply them farther out in the world. I love my family, of course. Though, I can understand what you mean regarding um, witnessing someone do the unknown, and unknown brings fear. I'm happy that you have already come to the conclusion to dispel such fear.
It is true that for a time we've been somewhat secretive about our ways. Of course, honesty in our regard to open honesty is a bit of a risk, at least when it comes to Noctum. If we simply spilled the details of all of our rituals, it would make it much easier for them to find ways to harm us. But even still, we've chosen the path of openness and honesty to allow questions as to what we do, why we do it, what it's for. Even in the midst of a war, opening our doors, and, well, regrettably, that led to Noctum attacking us in our own home earlier this cycle, but still, we are happy to speak on the subject because though you don't seem to have this distrust, many within the land do. They see us as an analog of the science of entropy of 2 centuries prior. I think in their hearts, even though very few of us were alive at the time, they aren't able to see us as something else. Or they have a difficulty in doing so, a hesitance.
I understand. I myself am but man, only of 30 years, 3 decades, nowhere old enough to recall any of these events, and those who I spoke with recall them with great anguish and pain. However, I do understand it's not fair to ever use the past or judge something that isn't it. Past experiences do build a way for you to navigate a dangerous world, but my past, my ancestry, my family line is, well, the darkest point of history from my people. And I know how difficult it is to have people see you differently than what they already know.
It is something that needs to be constantly overcome. Words alone don't do it. It needs to be actions, and even those actions can oftentimes be misinterpreted in the worst of lights. It's an unfortunate reality we often have to face.
For instance, our ritual to help Dorian's reconstitution involved a wheel in the sky, which of course was immediately misinterpreted as something it wasn't.
I remember. I remember hearing the panic in people's voices, figuring out what it meant. I I will admit that feeling of fear in others' eyes isn't unknown to me. I, an ancestor of mine, came here 200 years ago. His his origin is one of blood and near extinction of my people. Though he came here different, new, his actions still never disappeared. And his traits still continue in his line that I display. And at times, there are those that can have a certain hesitation despite living a normal, unprovoked life. There's not much you can do to sway the pre-made perceptions people have made, except by continuous, hard, and honest work and showing them different. Your people, the cult, as many refer to you as, is not much different than the one I come from, but you all feel so much more aware, as if your eyes care to look at those that people consider unimportant or small. I have found a certain attraction to your group, though, of course, seeing how everyone panics does make it somewhat hard to immediately jump aboard. Of course, I come from a cult that had tendency to make poor decisions, so I've attempted to try to make sure I don't repeat mistakes. But, Karina, you aided me early on my days here in Vardoran when I fell in in the monastery that's
Yes.
right near us.
Mm-hmm.
And without your aid, I don't know where I would be. In Dorian, when I came to your doors requesting to know more, I was greeted with such hospitality that I almost forgot that this was a group that people had problems with, that there was panic or fear surrounding their name. You both have showed me the wonderful side of your people. I have only ever seen Noctum in a light that seemed hasty. They always seemed urgent. Such in a way that always made me feel that any decision, any word from their mouths would disregard truths and facts in order to get their intention first. Hasty. And usually the haste was riddled with either anger or hate. Being a military, I understand the need to be efficient, quick, and strong. But I don't see that need of strength in the ways they display it. I have attended some of their openings to where they display some nature of themselves to the public. And they always seemed to be power first, knowledge later. Which is something that my ancestor divulged and obsessed with. Zayn, he was a vampire who came here. He was obsessed with power, and my clan nearly died because of that. Whatever happened on his way down here changed him. And with that chance, he was given but a better life. But from what I've heard and studied, it took time and effort to learn and understand that changed a person, that changed him. And when someone doesn't wait or stops to think, it always leads to actions that are regrettable. Even today, perfect example, my own actions, fueled by my selfish desire to not necessarily interrupt, but involve myself. If I showcase a lack of care in my own safety, and hearing that I was not necessarily the issue in causing more stress, but that my own safety and care, my own health, was your concern, I should have been more careful. It's very rare that you find people that care about you in a way that you get reprimanded for it, for risking your own life.
It's, well, every life is unique and beautiful in its own way. Every individual has something they bring to the table. The tapestry that is the world is, well, it's varied in its make and color and vibrancy and, well, I believe that every life is important and that, well, every individual has something that they lend to the world. It's for those who accept and understand the dangers of war, it is unfortunately a necessity for us. But for those who have not committed themselves to either side, it is a tragedy if they were to be caught up in things, to be hurt. So it's something that, well, Karina agrees with, surely.
Of course, we
And
don't want anyone hurt who's not part of this war. It's just the nature of it. And it means that the ground of Dunley ends up stained red with blood. It's what happens when you fight for so long over so much territory, but it was never and is never our wish to see people who have no stake in the war and want no part of it to get hurt.
But, well, if you are interested in joining our ranks, that is certainly something that we could extend to you if you would like to assist us in future endeavors. We truthfully need all the assistance we can get. Nocturne is... Their promises of power are quite persuasive, and
Yes.
although it is true that we also have sources of power of our own, they are deeply personal matters of faith, not necessarily whispers that we,
Yes, it's
try and sing in someone's ear.
Noctum is more likely to shove a dark silver weapon into your hand and a helmet on your head and tell you to get to the front lines than, well, the fundamental difference, which you've already identified, Korazkhan, between us and them is that they are a military. They are driven by a want for battle, for territorial expansion. They have always been that way. The cult of the damned has been engaged in combat with them for over a century at this point, and that's always how the story's been. Noctum wants territory, and we have defended ourselves. We are not seeking military dominance, nor are we seeking dominion or any of those sorts of things that people say. We wish to worship the Leviathans that we worship, to devote ourselves to axiom, to magic, to healing and cleansing the land, as the scars of the past still do remain in Vardaran. That was the sole purpose of our ritual with Maja, to cleanse it, to help her, our friend, reconstitute. And for the effort we were interrupted by Jezebel, which caused a great many of us to get hurt. Again with Nikolaos, another beneath the ground in both cases is a snare of magic, unnatural magic that we sought to cleanse. In both cases, we were doing all that we could to aid the land, to aid those within our number within it, to help them reconstitute. And in both cases we are met with suspicion. Suspicion that I understand, but suspicion that is wearisome. It's not the first time we faced it. We know how to handle it, but that doesn't make it pleasant to not be trusted even when we're actively doing everything we can to help the land, even with Noctum breathing down our necks.
Yes. Well, part of me wants to gladly join you, because I must admit, studying in a tower alone is lonely, and my neighbors have been nice, but not being a part of something, when all my life I've been part of something, has been taking its toll. I've been questioning everything. I do worry about the neighbors, the friends I have been making. Truly the closest group of people that I know has been these Fae in this inn that run this inn. They've been very good to me and aiding me in my seek of knowledge and research. I don't want to join something and tear friendships apart due to conflict. That's, I guess, a reasonable concern. It is one to be truthfully told.
Well,
Well, we would not ask you to leave your friends or, well, necessarily make you work against them. We, if you come to our defense and you see someone on the other side of the battlefield, perhaps one or both of you could simply decide to step aside for that, right? But in any case, it is. We are not militaristic in any way. You would, if you chose to join us, it would be as an introductory member. The official title that we use is Drudge. But if you are interested, you could certainly rank up as well. It is. To start, it is simply being, well, invited to our activities, to our rituals, to, well, engagements that we have. It would ensure that you are given a mark of axiom so that you are able to, well, aid us when necessary.
yes, we will provide you with a temporary mark, though the more permanent one you must prove your worth for that to happen. Of course, that's a bigger
Yes.
step, and in exchange, we do expect a show of devotion. What I do wish to say is that serving within our ranks, assisting us in this matter, comes in many forms. As Dorian said, we need all the help we can get. That help could simply mean picking up a sword and being willing to wield it when the time is right. But there's many, many more things to assist with. There are many within our number who are not combatants. Amraiha, for instance, ritualist of the Cults of the Damned, is not a combatant. She is not the sort of person to come in a fight. We have minions, plenty of them, to help us fight where necessary, many of which you saw today in the mines. They are more disposable, by far, than, well, any entropic human or vampire, because they are risen, they are undead in nature. They are not the same, they are our soldiers. There are many, many ways to help the cause, as you say. It need not ever involve combat if that is not something that you wish to do, or something that you find yourself capable of doing.
See. Well, you have kind of dispelled my worry by telling me the way that you approach things. I am glad that you even entertained speaking with me. I'm glad I didn't cause too much offense earlier, and I thank you so much for your time, your care, and frankly, the honesty. You you people have always seemed so nice. Especially during my time I got struck in with an illness. Barbados, who runs the inn at your location. Um, he did so much to, assist me when I couldn't be heard or I felt left out. He made sure I was seen. I noticed if anything could describe you people, it would be a family. Noctum is a military, but you treat each other with a trust that comes from a family. Built one, but matters not. I wish to, for now, assist in what I can. I'll be contemplating the willingness to take my blade up, but I would like to assist in resources and materials.
Would you like to officially accept the title of Drudge? For operations that involve, well, combat, we will try to make sure people are aware if it's a possibility, and you need not be involved, but if we ensure that, well, you will get missives that are sent to the entirety of the, well, of Faith and allies.
I would like to inquire quickly one thing, since I know it's you evolve, it's kind of your thing. The magic. You see, I came to Vardoan for two reasons: to learn about what happened 200 years ago, and the return of the magic, for the sake of my clan, and to learn about my ancestor Zayan, and what happened to him. I've completed both of those missions, and I've been, for a period, left without purpose. But I found so much joy and wonder here, I wish to stay. But I've come to have a new personal mission. The magic itself. I've always been forced, I guess, to focus on one. And because I was born to be naturally attuned to wield chaos, that's all I've ever known. But here in these lands, though multiple times they have been used to end my life, I have been shown the different schools, the diversity of of magic. And I wish to know as much as I can. And that has led me to make a new mission, which is to break apart from my roots in order to gain a complete understanding of the magic that exists here and those that I'm unaware of, because it's frankly an aspect that makes this world so beautiful. And I guess the point I'm leading up to is, you know of a guess, to put it in layman terms, as I'm still very new to it, God of Magic axiom. This concept. And then there's these leviathans, these concentrations. Would me joining you allow me to learn more? Would I be, or would there be some sort of...
Certainly.
prohibit?
We are
Certainly
we
that
are
would
happy
be prohibited.
Not prohibited at all. We encourage the study of magic wholeheartedly. It is
Yes.
something that we would be happy to aid you on even. If you have interest in, well, discovering magic and the leviathans and things of that nature, well, what I would recommend is to perhaps begin construction on an altar. Well, as the Cult of Decay, we are connected and in worship specifically to the entropy Leviathan. It is an energy that, as an entropic human, runs through you at this very moment. It is an energy that you can better understand through this worship, through this communion. And it's something that we would be more than happy to guide you on.
Yes. We would be delighted, truly, to assist you in the study of magic in this regard. We hold a deep and reverent love of Axiom and magic in all its forms. Though we at the Cult of Decay worship the Entropy Leviathan and the Cult of the Damned worships the Shadow Leviathan, we all hold a deep love of magic in the many ways it makes manifest.
Especially the Cult of Decay, due to the nature of entropy, it does involve a little bit of each school, so it pays to, well, know at least the basics of all of them.
I may ask something. I have noticed that I have carried a assumption, and I wish to make it clear. Is there conflicts of interest within magic itself? What I mean is, I've been focused on its beauty, but like water, sometimes the currents clash. Not unnaturally, but I know there is some things that don't mix, and some things that do mix. I know very little of these beings, these things, concepts, leviathans. They sound immense, and from what I've heard, describe them with a sort of largeness, a plane of different sapience, a man to an ant. But does these leviathans and their forms, I know that each one bears a type. Do certain types don't mix with others? Is there magic that doesn't bear well? I only ask simply to know, as I've fell in love with all I have seen. I just want to make sure that where I do look, I do be careful, as I know there are rules in everything. It's not fair to assume that this place doesn't have rules either.
A very good ask, and a very good question. I'll let Dorian field most of it, but the short of it is this. Leviathans belong to each school of magic. They generally are territorial, and while they're not omnipotent, they are very large, so to speak. They are, in a sense, daemons. Daemons with so much magic, they don't hold physical form. To be noticed by one, to make offerings to one, and to receive magic in turn, that is what the altar is for, to offer magic in devotion and worship, and to hope to be noticed. But as you say, and as you correctly assume, you must be careful in how you approach things, for they are very, very powerful creatures, akin to gods.
Well, they are the hands of Axiom. I would hesitate to say akin to gods, as that is something that some people might take a bit far. However, they are still powerful, and they also should be treated reverence. As for conflicts within magic itself, the answer is yes. There are certain schools of magic that tend to sing in harmony with each other, and others that create a bit of a discordant noise, if, well, directly opposed. It is these facts that, well, form the basis of many magical studies and ways to help ensure that rituals go well, and balance, and all of that. You need to understand well the schools and how they interact with each other. It's vital in order to have a successful ritual, I suppose you could say.
You need look no further than holy and unholy to see an example of two opposed schools.
I see.
But also strangely connected and concordant of the same. It's holy and unholy are quite fascinating when it comes to the magical language, but I could ramble on about that for a while, so I will not. The short version is that Leviathans, as expressions of Axiom's will, can come into conflict with each other. It is hopefully something to be avoided, but not always possible to avoid. At this moment in time, there's not any conflict within this area between Leviathans.
I see. Well, that answers my question quite well. The nature of the question comes from my interest from the magic that's wielded in the schools, as well as the magic that inhabits beings. Notably, the harpies in Silverlight, the werewolves in Dunley, and I don't even know what they're called in the Cursed Forest.
The night lurkers?
Yes.
I do apologize. I did just notice the time.
Yes, the hurricane is coming in, so not that I
yes.
want to stop this conversation, but we really need to get home before
It's a bit lovely, but we do need to get home.
Yes, to put a cap on
If-
it. I have
if you
actually
don't-
looked into the study of those beings.
Bend to my will.
Harpies have cores of chaos, as I understand it, and the werewolves have cores of blood. The night lurkers, I may have cores of blood as well as illusion. Hard to say. But please, though Dorian and I need to head home, you are more than welcome to write us and to continue this
Yes.
talk another time.
And thank you so much. I'll let you know what I think in the letters. I'll try to keep in contact.
Of course. You should be able to get letters to our house over the storm, though. You know, it may take a little while.
I'll direct it to either you or Dorian, since
Of course.
it'll be the most relevant.
Of course. And thank you for speaking with us. Oh, there comes the rain. Babel.
Here, for your journey to be swift.
Thank you.
There's
Babel.
one for Dorian as well.
Teague. Dorian, do you have some? Here you go.
Be
It
swift.
Thank
was
you.
lovely to stop by the inn. Thank you for having us.
So it
We
shall
really
be.
ought to get home before the storm hits fully. We don't have much time.
Yeah,
Yes, take care. Got lost in conversation there.
Yes, he's nearly as fervent as Alice is. I think he'll make a wonderful faithful.
Hmm.
I'm very hopeful. Well,
I'm better
Yes.
off than not. Thanks.
Normally I avoid this place like the plague, but alas, we are in a
we're
rush.
short. We're short on time, even though it smells awful.
Militia guard, behind me!
let's get inside. And feel it pouring down. Rest well, Dorian.